MissSlaughter, hello. How are you doing? How is your day?
Pretty freaking great. I did a whole lot of nothing, and now I'm here.
A whole lot of nothing. That's what I like to hear. That is a perfect like midweek activity. It's just relaxing, enjoying your Thursday. MissSlaughter, can you tell everyone what you do on the internet for me?
I'm a person in the super niche retro FPS community and just retro video game community, even though I'm a variety streamer at heart. I like to tweet jokes and troll a little bit on Twitter, and yeah, I work for Night Dive Studios as a host, live stream host, and for marketing for them as well.
Wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Folks, everyone should be playing boomer shooters. They're good for your bones. They're fantastic. I know you played the Medieval VR. I just bought that. I haven't played it yet. How did you enjoy that?
Well, we really don't want to talk about that stream because it was so rife with technical difficulties. But other than that, I did get to play the first level, and I will say it was fantastic. Okay. So even judging by the first level, I think everyone should buy it.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Please buy indie games, buy boomer shooters. I just love like Quake and stuff. So I just like any of those games I see, I'm like, I'm just going to play these. These are fantastic. Do you have any D&D experience by any chance?
A long ass time ago, like probably back in high school, middle school. It's been a hot minute. Okay. And there's been much marijuana smoked since then. So probably no.
Are you smoking marijuana today? Are you doing the devil's lettuce currently?
Currently, I wish, but all day, yes.
Oh, this is an even better Thursday. That's what I like to hear. All right. Are you ready for your campaign, MissSlaughter?
Ready as I'll ever be.
That's what I like to hear. Let me get this set up on the computer. All right, MissSlaughter. Your campaign is called The Woods Ritual. Okay? Your name is Deborah Gravy, and you are 32 years old. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 30 in real life, so it's pretty close.
Okay, you have a lot to see in the next 2 years. Being Deborah Gravy, it's going to be great. Let me read your scenario. It's finally the weekend, you think to yourself, as you roll out of bed and open your curtains. As you draw those curtains open, you see that the sun is shining, birds are chirping, and only some of your old neighbors outside have fallen and are having trouble getting up from their lawns. Stupid olds, always being a problem and taking our social security. As you sip some McDonald's chicken nugget flavored coffee, you see on the weather app that it's going to be just a perfect, wonderful day. Sunshine and no rain. Without missing a beat, you throw on your hiking gear and jump into your red 2002 Toyota Corolla with automatic windows and head to the woods. You start by using some of the trails, but you're an experienced walker, so you decide to drift away from that and head deeper into the wooded unknown. After some time, you come across a pack of individuals in cloaks, and you can see that there is a person tied up on the ground. Candles are around them, and the people in cloaks are chanting. How do you proceed?
Well, first, I ask if this is a KKK meeting.
Sorry, I should say they were dark cloaks. They're dark cloaks.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, I don't know if it's any better because they could be like sacrificial, and really scary. The same thing, basically. So
yes, in a different sense, yes.
Yes. I guess I go up behind them in the bushes and I spy a little bit, and I get a little bit closer to see what's going on.
Okay. I'm gonna roll for you to sneak a little closer. You roll an 11, so you start to approach the cloaked figures from a distance. You get into the bushes, and you're making a lot of noise. They don't see you, but they're kind of looking around, and they're a little alert, and they go back to chanting. They're chanting in a language that you don't understand because you didn't pass high school Latin. that is something that Deborah Gravy really tried hard to pass and just couldn't do it. So.
All right, I can't understand them. I'm not going to get any more info from them. By the way, I just want to say, when you were setting up my scenario, when you said I drove a red Toyota Corolla, I laughed so hard on the inside because that was my first car. I feel like you almost, yes, I feel like you almost nailed like my age, like my first car, all of that. Yeah, hilarious. Wow. By the way,
I'm better at this than I thought I was. This is perfect. Thank you.
All right. So what I do next, probably start climbing the closest tree that I can get up to so I can get a better vantage point and see if they have a hideout nearby or if they're closing in somewhere or they're surrounding a leader.
Okay. You roll a 4. So you begin to climb a tree, and as you climb up the tree, you step on a branch and you fall right back down. The cloak figures are now very much aware of your presence, and 2 of them go to the tree and they look at you quizzically, and they're just kind of staring at you while you're on the ground. How do you proceed?
Meow.
Okay, we're gonna pretend that we're a cat. You roll a 12. You go meow, and the both cloak figures look at each other, and they look at the group behind them, and they look at each other, and they go, "You're not a cat. What do you do? What are you doing here? Why are you ruining our ritual? What purpose do you have here?"
Then I just start licking my paws and walking around on all fours, encircling their feet before running back into the woods on all fours, giving chase to them.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for acting more like a cat and doubling down. I love it. You roll a 2. So you rub your body against their legs like a cat would, and as you try to run, they grab you by the arm and they pull you closer to the rest of the cloaked figures. They said, once again, we cannot emphasize this enough. You are not a cat. I don't know why you were doing this. You're not a cat. And they drag you and they lay you down next to the individual that is in the middle of their candled seance. That person is completely tied up and they have tape on their mouth. And the cloak people continue to chant.
I look over to the sacrifice and I ask him, "So what are you in for?" But he can't respond because he has tape over his mouth. So I try to reach over and grab the tape off of his mouth.
I'm going to roll for a clever joke. You roll a 16. So you say, "What are you in for?" And you definitely successfully do finger guns. And like you do them in a cool way. Like everyone, like even some of the cloak people are like, "All right, that actually kind of works." And you do take off the tape off of this man's mouth, and he starts screaming, just bloody murder. "They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me! We have to leave! What are you doing here? They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill us!" And he just keeps screaming that and repeating it over and over again.
I look around at all of the cultists staring at me and wondering what I'm going to do next as I reach into my back pocket and realize that I have a lighter in there.
Okay.
And they can't see my hands behind me and the other sacrifice. So I start trying to spark the lighter to burn the ropes that are binding the sacrifice.
Okay. Roll for the lighter. You roll an 8. So you do grab the lighter and you start to try to light the rope, but you end up just burning some of his arm and cinching some of the hair on his arm. You weren't very accurate with that. And he yells at you about it.
Damn it.
He does say, "Damn it." "Why are you burning my arm? They're trying to kill me. We need to escape." The chanting becomes louder at this point. It's louder, and they start to get closer into a circle.
They're enclosing me into the circle. I start to get worried and panic a little bit because I see no way out before I realize that I can throw my lighter and knock a little bit of wood that's hanging down above them and cause a distraction by knocking that wood down.
Okay, I like this. You're going to throw the lighter and do a distraction. It's like a Three Stooges bit. I love it. Okay. You roll an 11 and you throw the lighter and it hits the tree and it just bounces off. It does not break that piece of wood.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. It does not break that wood. The chanting continues and another cloaked figure enters the circle, and they have a big sword. Like, this sword is something that you buy at the mall or that you look at the mall, and no one has any idea how that business is still open at the mall, but they have a bunch of swords, and no one has any idea if it's just a front. They're pretty sure it's a front, but they have a bunch of... It's like one of those swords. It's huge. And he's holding it with 2 hands, and he points it at the guy who is tied up.
I look at him and look back at the sacrifice, and I look back at the big hooded cloaked figure, and I ask him, "Hey bro, have you played Elden Ring?"
You ask the big hooded guy if he's played Elden Ring, and he looks at you for a moment, looks out of the cloak people, and then he takes off his cloak. He goes, actually, I've been having a really bad time with the fire giant lately. He just keeps rolling, and it's been a really, really bad, hard, difficult time. They want you to ride the donkey to get out of the way, but it seems like he always hits it. And he just starts talking about Elden Ring, and he keeps talking about Elden Ring, and it just keeps talking about Elden Ring over and over and over. Talking about strategies. He puts the sword down while he keeps telling you about his Elden Ring build that he claims that you don't need blood for, but it's great. Apparently it's better than blood. He read it on a game fact somewhere. So he is just talking your ear off right now. He put the sword down. The chanting has stopped. They're all kind of listening to their guy.
Okay, so I listened intently as he's getting lost in his rant about Elden Ring, and I agree, and I nod, and I'm like, I get it, bro. I totally get it. It's such bullshit. I know. Tell me about it. And I'm like keeping him distracted and he's not even noticing that I'm leaning over to the sacrifice, and I'm handing him my lighter so he can burn his own ropes behind his back. So I'm holding him off for a diversion so he can get out and we can escape.
Okay. You roll a 12. So you did for some reason have a second lighter in your pocket because you threw the first lighter, and you hand it over to him. He tries to grab it and puts it behind his back and accidentally rolls and then breaks it with his body weight by accident. And then he looks at you and just goes, "Uh-oh." The cloaked leader is still talking to you about Elden Ring and potential DLC options. He's talking about how he doesn't think it's going to come out this year because Armored Core is probably coming out in August. But he's really hoping for better multiplayer experiences in the DLC. He just keeps talking to your ear off about Elden Ring.
Well, I turn to the sacrifice and I look at him and I say, "You know what, bro? I've tried so many times. You're on your own. I'm sorry." And then I turn back to the hooded figure and I tell him and I say, "Hey man, you know what? This has been a really nice conversation. Do you want to exchange gamer tags? Do you want to play on Steam later? Maybe we can link up."
You roll a 2. As you get up and you look at the cloak figure, you ask if you guys can play it on Steam, and he says, "Oh, I play it on Xbox. I can't have your gamer tag at all. I play on Xbox. And he gets a little sad about this. He's like, I just want to have a friend to play video games with. That's why we have all these cloaked people, but none of them play video games. I wish I had a friend that would play video games with me.
Wait. I have Game Pass, and I can play with you on Xbox. And what if, just throwing this out there, that I became co-leader of the cult with you, and we played Elden Ring forever together and lived happily ever after? What say you?
He hears your offer, and he looks around. He looks at his sacrifice. He looks at the sword. He thinks about his character and his build, and he says, you know, that sounds wonderful. You could be the co-leader of this cult with me. You said you have Game Pass. We could play online together. This is going to be a start of a beautiful friendship. And he sticks out his hand to shake your hand. What do we do?
I extend mine and shake his hand back, and then we hit it and go back to the cult headquarters to fire up the PC and the Xbox and play some co-op Elden Ring.
All of that happens, and while you go back to the place and play Elden Ring on the Xbox with Xbox Game Pass, you make a new friend, but unfortunately the rest of the cloak figures do stab the sacrifice to death, so he is dead. But you survived, and you joined a cult, and you're the co-leader. So, MissSlaughter, you have survived your No Dungeons, No Dragons experience. Please let the audience know what you got going on the internet, please.
Not much today, but tomorrow I'll be hanging out on the Night Dive Studios channel playing some Shadow Man Remastered, which is an amazing game. So if you haven't heard of it or haven't seen anything about it, come by and hang out and look at it because it's freaking great.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for being a part of my show. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Mayor Wertz. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course. Have a good night.